Welcome to the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. My name is Ian. They call me the Purpose Coach. I could be your Purpose Coach. Listen, I'm just glad to be here, representing Team Reconcile Consulting, as well as Reconcile Coaching and Therapy Services. We out here doing business with a purpose. We come on purpose with a purpose, like one of our mentors likes to say. And with this purpose in mind, I'm lucky to be shoulder to shoulder with a couple brothers, a couple men, a couple husbands, a couple fathers, you know what I'm saying? Some all-stars in the game of life, leadership, and community. And I can hype them up even more, but you know what? I feel like I wouldn't be able to even do it justice. So I'm going to let them have the stage, introduce themselves. Without further ado.
Go ahead, brother. You can hype me up, brother. Go ahead. You can hype me up.
Hey, like I told you, man, ain't nobody in the game that can do it like Ian, boy. He make you come out just like, ooh.
For real. But I am Shante Price. I am your thought coach, where I believe that thoughts become things. If you don't have the right thought pattern to change from where you want to be, where you are to where you want to be, you will always just be there. Always just be trying to get somewhere else. So we have to change our thought patterns to be able to engage the next level of where we want to be. You can find me on social media with my name, Shante Price. And I just want to say I am grateful today. One of the reasons I'm grateful for today is that someone died yesterday. Someone died yesterday. You know, we can look at statistics. People, die every such minutes or whatever, right? But I'm still here. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to speak into your life. Whoever is listening or will listen to this, I'm grateful that I have family that I can communicate with and be able to help me be the man I want to be. I just had to say that.
Yeah. So, like who wants to come after that, right? Like I think my man set me up though. Like,
come on, brother.
Wow. No, I feel him though. I am grateful as well. So, but yeah, hey, this is your boy Sherrod Ledette, aka the Leadership Locksmith, aka the Professor, also the Bro Coach of Greater Lexington. Hey, look, I help business owners stop working in their business and start working on your business. Here's what I can tell you about entrepreneurship and business owners, man. We have a technical skill set, right? That's why we got there. We had a vision. But here's what I also know is that just because you had a technical skill set doesn't necessarily mean we know every aspect about business. So the thing about it is that, hey, I allow you and help you to reflect, identify, look at the opportunities, create a system so you can then get back to the vision of why you started your business, right? Not to be an employee, but to be a business owner. So, and like my man Shante, I am also grateful. I am so grateful. Hey, I'm grateful just to be on this thing with y'all two guys right now. Right.
Yes, sir.
So grateful. And I don't know about you, Shante, but down here in mine and Ian's land, man, we got snow. Now, tripping, here's the thing. It was 60 degrees the other day. Like literally yesterday, I want to say it was like 60 degrees. And then earlier the week, it was like 70. And then today is like 6.
Yeah, it was the same thing up here. It was real hot. I think Wednesday, real nice. It snowed that night and it cleared right up, but then it snowed again Friday. So yeah, I actually had one of my guys get into a wreck with one of the vehicles on the way back to the depot the other night too. So, but yeah, it was pretty bad.
Right. Fellas, man, it is March 12th, 2022. It is episode 6 of season 2 of the Brothers
Episode
Influence podcast. Man, listen. First of all, I just want to applaud you guys. You guys both did a good job just putting the value that you're adding to the world out there, man. The value that you're adding in life, leadership, and community. I love it, man. And so I would be remiss if I didn't even mention. So I talked about my business, of course, but you know, we got a couple things going on as far as what I do or what my heart and passion is, and where I find myself in my work, and then what we're doing as an organization, which is really cool. I have the privilege of working alongside my better half and business partner. So Double B
just celebrated the anniversary too.
yeah.
That
10-year anniversary this past week. So
yeah. That's right.
We still kind of celebrating. Never would have made
Uh-oh. Come on now.
We still celebrate down here. We still celebrating. Yeah, man. But so you can find me on social media at Ian Coaches, both on Instagram and Facebook, or just by simply finding me under Ian Williams on other platforms such as LinkedIn, etc. But I'm really passionate about helping individuals, particularly purpose-driven individuals, find purpose, direction, and fulfillment in their life and work. Or you know, so if you're interested in getting on the path to becoming purpose driven, if it sounds nice to you, but you're just not sure what you're meant to do or who you created to be, then it is my pleasure and privilege to partner with you on the journey of discovery so that you can figure those things out. And I believe that those things are there already in you, and that they just need to manifest in the physical and your present reality, and that there's a path towards that. And it's just a simple matter of awareness. So I love it's like waking up and realizing, man, I really have something. I really have value that I can add. I have worth and value that I can bring wherever I show up. That's what I love about it, man. Because when you really get tapped in, it's not about like just how you can get a raise, or you know, saying just how you can look a certain way in a certain space. Nah, this is everywhere you go. You will carry this with you, and it will translate in how you interact with the world, and it will put you in a position to make a difference that you never knew was possible. All rooted in the things that you've always cared about and been passionate about. And then as an organization, we help purpose-driven leaders scale their impact very similarly, scale their impact and bottom line through leadership and team development. So it's very similar vein where we walk with that organization, with those leaders through the process of self-discovery. Like what are these values? What do we stand for? What are we trying to accomplish? So that we really have a good sense of direction and can really show up as our best selves every day and give our best work, do our best work. How to put ourselves in the best position to succeed. And so there's layers to it, man. But that's the thing, man. You know, that's an extension of what my purpose is. You know, that's my passion, things that I've always cared about. And so being able to get up every day and do that, like my brothers Shaltain and Shiraz said, I'm very grateful for that. And you know, speaking of, I actually had an opportunity to guest facilitate at my son's school for All Pro Dads. All Pro Dads, which was cool, man. You know, I'm an aspiring All Pro Dad, but you know, I want to be, if anything, I definitely want to be known as a man that tried, not having all the best examples, learning as I've gone, gleaning from amazing brothers like Shaltain and Sherrod, my mentors Dan Caldwell, John Maxwell. You know, just fatherhood, leadership, everything, man. Just trying to do my best to pour into my child, and help him grow up a healthy, in every aspect, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, etc. And so, you know, we had been attending the All Pro Dads, which is like it's a nonprofit that partners with schools, and we basically a couple of guys, volunteer fathers, go in and they teach lessons, and they really encourage parents to affirm their children and tell them, you know, how they're proud of them, and they just, you know, teach basic principles, life principles, which I'm all about. And so I got the opportunity to work with him yesterday morning and facilitate that. And again, that's an extension of my purpose. Like whether I'm in the corporate space or in the classroom, you know, it's a translation. So I know when I show up, I know why I'm there. I don't have to question whether I should be there or shouldn't be there, because it aligns with my purpose and who I feel like I was created to be and what I was created to do. So yeah. Man.
I saw that too, because you were what would you specifically address? Was it
Optimism.
optimism? Yes. Yeah. I saw that. I saw Little Man too. You looked like he was helping you out.
Yeah. So we got a little. He was able to be my executive assistant there,
Okay.
and you know he and a couple of his friends there from the crowd were able to assist me in the demonstration. Yeah, man. You know, I think it's a great lesson on optimism, just like defining it. What does it look like? I think the lesson that my fellow All Pro Dad taught was that optimism is being positive regardless of the situation, or remaining positive regardless of the situation, which I really love. But there's so many layers to it, man.
Yeah.
And so when I demonstrated, we talked about like perspective, like what does it look like? What's the difference between a cup being half full versus half empty, and why is that significant? Like, why does it matter? Um, and the positive and negative connotations that go along with that. And I really hope that I spoke to the parents, because it's really them that's going to have to drive these things home, with their kids. It's like, my mentor Dan Caldwell always says, how you see a thing is how you treat a thing.
Yes.
How you see a thing is how you treat a thing.
Yeah, when you come up on an opportunity or a problem, this is when you talk about optimism, when people think about positivity, I've heard it called Pollyanna positivity, which was like a little foreign to me, but I get it, right? Pollyanna positivity, like positive, when it's like unwarranted, like it don't make sense, you just positive for no reason. No, but I think what we're talking about is positivity in the sense that there's belief that there's always a solution, right? Like, it's not to say that it's not hard, it's not difficult, that getting from point A to point B, whatever, in your mindset or even physically, like, can be hard, but just believing that there is a way forward, is what we're talking about. It doesn't mean that it's easy. Doesn't mean that it's not, that it won't get messy, but believing that there's a way forward and that there's creative solutions that maybe I haven't even thought of yet. And so just, instead of just coming up on frustrations and being like, man, this stinks, and just kind of sitting in that negativity, doesn't really allow you to push forward, to grow, or to get to where you need to be. But when you're thinking in terms of, okay, we have an opportunity here to think outside the box, just something different. Like, I got to do something different than I did last time, because what I did last time ain't working. So just that simple belief can make all the difference in our ability to press forward in the midst of difficult circumstances. And so, yeah, man.
I like what you said. Can you say that again? What Dan says?
Yeah, how you see it is how you treat a thing.
Yeah, how you see a thing, how you treat a thing. And what I love about that, also, when you said that, I thought about the scripture where Paul says, I've learned to be content in all situations. And people tend, and this gets back to our thought patterns, because when people think about that scripture, or people saying things like that, they too often think of them just settling for less. And it's not really settling for less. You've come to a place where you understand, that I've said it before, there's things you can change and there's things you can't change. The things you can change, those are things you need to deal with. You can change it. So if you can do something about a bill that needs to be paid, whether you have money or not, you can do something about it, right? Because people often, what they do, they just do nothing. And then they wait to get that shut off notice. But you can make a call. If you don't have the money, if you have some money, you can pay something, right? If you have no money, you can make a call. So there's something you can do. Now, with a different situation, whereas you might not be able to do something, as if you decide to spend your money on something that, and you got bills coming up, right? You've decided to do something totally contrary to what you need to have done, right? But in our thought pattern, we have to understand where we are, right? Paul said, when I was a child, I thought like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things, right? So when I was a child, I wanted to have it my way. I wanted my toys to be my toys, right? I didn't want to share. That's something that has to be taught with a kid, right?
Mm.
You know, share your, come on, let your brother or sister, da 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 da, right? And but when I became a man, I understand the importance of those things, of sharing, of compromise, right? When it's, especially when we're dealing with relationships, how to compromise. Sometimes how to say no to people you love, right? Because not saying no could be toxic to you yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could not be beneficial to the relationship. So, but yeah, that's a great quote, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah. And I like what you was also you added to it. Shante was again, even using the example of, addressing, using the bill, but again, facing something, right? And the thing about it is that, you know, you can't change something if you're not willing to face it.
Mm.
Right. If you're not willing to face it head on, if you're not willing to look at the bill and again do whatever it is to change your situation, if you don't face it, you can't change it, because at that particular point, that means you're avoiding it. Right. If you avoid it, then there's no way for you to actually address it. Right.
Yeah.
So then that's when it becomes more of a problem, and again, that snowball effect now. Right now, that challenge becomes even a bigger challenge because again, you just was unwilling to change your circumstances because you were avoiding it, because you were, again, not wanting to deal with the circumstances, or probably didn't know how. Right. When I was even looking at just the definition of optimism, right? Hopefulness and confidence about the future.
Mm.
So, I mean, to me, immediately when I read that, I heard of faith, right? Faith is a substance hoped for,
Yeah.
things not seen,
Okay, Reverend.
right? But it says hopefulness and confidence about the future or successful outcome of something. So it's your belief in your ability to believe in what it is that you're hoping for, that you're confident in, and your confidence is in your ability to identify, hey, what is it that I'm hoping for? What is it that my future looks like? And then start taking the steps towards that. Optimism, right? Believing in your ability, making sure that I face the thing so I can make the changes necessary. And it doesn't necessarily mean I need to make the changes to the thing, more so than I need to make the changes possibly with myself. The first change is the way I see it, right? Isn't that this what your boy said, Ian? What was that quote that your man said?
How you see a thing is how you'll treat a thing.
So if I see it differently, then I'll treat it differently.
Exactly.
Right? If I'm willing to face it, then I can change it. So it's all about, again, how I want it to look, how, if I'm willing to face it, right? And again, that might mean that I have to see myself differently, not see myself from where I'm at, but where I'm trying to go, right? One of the things that I also help do is get you from your now to your next. Looking at who am I now? What do I have now? Based on where it is I'm trying to go, and then what tools do I need to get there? We all have tools. We all have the ability to do something currently with myself now. But if I have an optimistic outlook, right? If I practice optimism, knowing that where I am now and where I'm trying to go, what my future looks like, right? So,
Yeah, bro. I mean, I mean, I'll just add a little bit on that. Just from the standpoint of the quote that we're discussing. It's like it's the difference between seeing something as a problem versus an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I've started kind of referring to things like it may be a challenge or something I don't have figured out or something I need to get an answer to. Okay, this is an opportunity. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And that changes my posture and how I approach getting whatever it is that I need to make up the difference. Completely changes it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's almost
Okay.
like vocabulary too, right? When I look at a word, right, and then I change and understanding the definition of the word, again, you can change a complete sentence to mean something completely different by just changing the word and placing it differently within the sentence, giving it a completely different context, right? Opportunity versus problem. Again, same flip. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, like you said, Now your whole mindset changes. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then immediately you can start moving in a different direction.
Yeah, and I think growing up, I've heard things like that said over the years, and it just didn't click.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, it just makes so much more sense now. But I think if we broke it down, like what does that mean? Like if I'm coming up on a something traditionally or historically known as a problem. When we say problem, we say something that needs to be figured out, something that needs to be repaired, something that what is then the inverse of that? What's the opportunity in that? And I think one of the key things for me is learning. Because I think that was one of the things that was missing, like not realizing that every loss, every obstacle is somewhat of a lesson. I'm going to be different on the other side of this event because I've either gained in knowledge, gained in experience, or either way, like I'm going to get that, right? Because if it was something I knew about, then it wouldn't be a problem. I would have put the solution to it. I already had the solution, but not having the solution, having to figure that out, having to ask questions, having to reach out, maybe even ask for help. I'm going to be different if I really look at it as an opportunity. I'm going to be different on the other side of that event than I was going into it.
Yeah. So if a person says that, okay, I want to start, the problem is I want to start a business, but I don't know how to. And so basically what I'm hearing, Ian, is you said that one of the things was learning, right? So for it not to be because the problem is, or that's how the person is looking at it, the problem is I don't know how to do it. But how do I turn that problem into an opportunity? You said learning. So, right. So now it's like, okay, I need to find out what it takes to start a business, right? What it takes, what are some of the steps to start the business? So that starts the transition from problem to opportunity, because what's in between, you can actually say if I ask the question, what's in between a problem and an opportunity? The learning stages. Right. I think there's something new we can deal with right here, right? the learning stages. I think that's what I'm hearing you saying. So here's your problem, here's your opportunity, and in between that is the learning stages of changing the mindset.
Come on, thought coach. Come on, thought coach. Go on, break that down.
What do you guys think one of the initial things that a person needs to understand with that concept?
We don't know what we don't know.
Oh, yes.
You took my
yes. Right. I think that lifts a burden up off you. That's great, Ian. I think that lifts a burden up off you automatically, right? Yep. I don't know what I don't know.
Yep.
I think now I'm able to breathe. Right? Because if a person is saying that I want to start a business, there's something in them that wants to come out. That's what I always see, right? I want to start a business. So there's something in them that wants to come out.
Come on, bro.
And the first stage of that is, I don't know what I don't know. Right?
Can we go to the second stage? I got one. I got it.
Go ahead, brother. Okay, right. So we got the first stage. So what's the second stage in this learning process of coming from a problem to an opportunity?
Ask questions.
Oh, questions.
Yeah, because and I'm actually glad Ian brought that up, because that was perfect. Like, you don't know what you don't know, so which then leads you to asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to learn something is ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, you become aware of the gap. Right? Before you didn't know what you didn't know. You didn't know there was a gap. But then when you say, I want this thing, but I don't know how to get there, you can become aware of the gap and then ask the question.
And I think that's even sometimes where we get stuck, because I don't know what I don't know, but I need to ask questions. But then the question is, what question do I need to ask? Right? Because the thing about it is, I mean, the reality, I don't want to look like I don't know. Right? Because if I look like I don't know, then that kind of means like, people are going to call, you didn't know that? But that's the learning process. Even like what you were saying earlier, in, about this whole optimism when we talked about it, like even now, I already knew that, but my greater understanding just came from this conversation now. Right. And even as Shantae is sitting here breaking down this whole learning, right? This learning concept, like again, the thought coach, bro. Hey, you took that to a whole nother level, But again, even in the conversation, those that are watching, those that are within our community, look at the questioning that we that are being asked here. Look at the questions that are being asked. Look at the even the formulation of the conversation, like how we're bringing these different components together, how we're asking the right questions, how we're leaning on each other's expertise or even level of knowledge, right? It's not that I don't know what I don't know. It's the fact that I'm willing to ask the question and willing to listen to others who've had experienced something that I haven't experienced. Because what happens in that whole learning process is that I then can tap into Ian's experience, then allows me to learn something new, that then when I tap into Shantae's experience, allows me to learn something even deeper. Then when I combine those experiences together, then it exposes a whole nother level.
Yes, sir.
So again, I don't know what I don't know, right? And then that just leads to asking the right questions. My bad, thought coach. Go on.
No,
Do
you
what you do,
good.
boy.
Another thing I was kind of hearing you saying, because you said it was something that you understood, but it kind of this conversation even. So I thought about a flower, right? You ever seen the time lapse of the flower from when it's closed to it opens? Because the beauty is revealed once it's fully open, right? Especially a rose, or even a lily, or But I like horticulture too. That's the whole different story. But when you said that, I just thought about just the bud opening and how beautiful it is, and that's how the learning is, right? It's a process, right? I see a flower one day and it's closed. I walk by it a couple of days later and it's starting to open up. And then one day I stop. Why do I stop? Because it's fully open. You can truly see the beauty of that road. And it's like, wow, that thing is, you know what I'm saying? So you said that kind of, it just made me think about it. That's the learning process. It's like a rose. It's like a flower, what's the word I use? Blooming, a flower blooming, right? When it finally blooms, you see the true beauty of it. And when our thoughts are finally changed, we're able to actually, if our family hasn't done what we want to do, it helps us to step away from it, right? Because we finally get it, that why hasn't someone else done it? Because they've never had the opportunity to. They've never uh really seen that they can do it, you know so yeah, that's man, that learning process is is so awesome. I had to, and my process just it took years, right? Just talking to people and learning new things and being able to understand that although where I come from, you know, people had businesses, they did things or they sold things, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with a person having something, I remember the candy lady, right? Going to school, you can stop by their house and they got all the candy, right? That's a business. It's not I don't want to use the word legit because it is a business, but it's not necessarily a tax paying business. I'll say it like that, right? But it's a business because it's a person they're selling something, right? We know I know growing up, it was a guy, he would come around, he had a camera, he took pictures at the club, but he'd come through the hood and take pictures. That was that's what he did. That's how he made his money. It was a business. It might have not been, like I said, a tax-paying business. Regardless, it's a business. The concept is there. The benefits are there. And often a lot of people that started there end up getting the LLC and blowing up. Some of the biggest brands were like that, right? Some of the biggest rappers or people that sing came from the hood or what have you. But at the end of the day, their thought process had to transition from where they are. Not Ian. Sherrod, like how he said, from now to next. Is that what you said? You know what I'm saying? Their thought process had to transition from now to next, because to get to next, you can't stay where you are. You can't. To get to next, you can't stay where you are. So the thought pattern I had that got me to prison, I could not keep that same thought pattern to get out of prison and to meet. And whereas I was just going around finding women, getting with women. Then when I got out of prison, I wanted something different, where I wanted a wife, right? I wanted a wife. So I wanted to find a woman, not many women, and then have a life and a family. And then I wanted a business, right? I was selling drugs prior. I couldn't go that route, but I wanted something legit. I wanted something that could be beneficial, not only to me and the livelihood of my family, but also to my community. Because what I was doing prior wasn't beneficial to my community. I was selling drugs. I was using women. I didn't have a license, driving around in cars, right? I was putting people in danger, no matter what the things I were doing. But now I wanted to flip that. And my process started with, even Sherrod said, that number 2, asking questions, right? In prison, I met people that did real estate, business, you name it, doctors, lawyers, they were all there. I was able to ask questions. Well, how do you do that? Because if I would have just went along with, oh, they're in prison with me, so why would I? No. Regardless of why somebody's in a situation, that don't mean they don't know nothing. That don't mean you can't learn from them, right? and that started my journey. This one guy, so being in prison, so I'm gonna tell you this story. Being in prison, you have people that are, how I want to say this. I'm a man, I like women. Just say it like that. But it was this guy, that's his thing, that's what he wants to do, but he had information I wanted. And one of the questions he asked me one day, he's like, because I was in his room, and he was like, you don't think about, and I'm a believer, so you don't think what people don't think. I said, well, I can't base my life off what people think, because one reason, that's why I'm in prison, because I base my life off what people think. And I told him, I said, you have something that can help me not come back to this place. You have information. You have business know-how. Irrelevant to why you're in this situation, you have information that I know that I can use to help me not come back to this place. So that's why I'm here. That's why I don't care about what someone might think about what I am and ain't doing. Because if I go back to thinking like that, guess what? I'm gonna stay in prison. I'm gonna come back to prison. So yeah, I had to share that. I'm sorry, I took it.
Nah, bro. Nah, you still in the same vein, man. This is so much to unpack. So, and I even staying in the same vein as far as just even, your experience in prison. But again, here's the reality. A lot of us are still in prison, and the imprisonment of our thought process, right? Our mindset. Sometimes that can be a prison, right? And it's the way we think. If it's not the right thinking, and if we don't get someone, like you said, you went to somebody, you were like, look, bro, I don't care what it looks like. You have something I need. You're going to be able to help me do something completely different, to think something completely different, that's going to allow me to then get a key to unlock a door to get out of this prison that I'm in. Right? Yeah, that was a leadership locksmith moment right there. Just want to throw that out there, right? Right. But he did. And we get keys all the time. Right? We get keys all the time. Right now, I would tell you, you have a key ring full of keys. My thing is I'm going to tell you this. We got to start looking at the door. We got to start putting the keys in the doors, start jiggling the door handle, see if it'll work. And if that don't work, then try a different key. Start looking at the opportunities, right? Let's go back to the beginning, right? The opportunities and the challenges, the problems. Look at the opportunities as, again, the opportunity to change and get somewhere where you're trying to get to, whatever that looks like for you. And understanding, like Ian said, man, while he wakes up every day as the purpose coach, he knows that you have something. And the reality of it is you already got it. It's in you.
Yeah.
What he helps you do is to identify it. What I help you do, use the key. What Sate helps you do, start thinking differently. Right? So you got a team of coaches right here. Join our community. Even if you're in a community, think about what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Brothers in influence. We help you identify your purpose. We help you start unlocking some things. We help the way you start thinking and looking at things. So you can then start positioning yourself and start thinking optimistically. Understanding that, look, I got something. Even if I don't see it yet, if I can't touch it yet, but I have a future that's different than where I'm at now. Getting from my now to my next. I love the story, brother. I love the story. My fault. I got a little of my feelings there, but it was so good. It was so good. And it blessed me.
Yeah.
Right. It blessed me. Right. And that's why I love our community, because our community isn't just about what it is I can give, but it's also about what I can receive. Like I tell my students all the time, as an educator, man, I'm not looking just to teach you something, but I promise you I'm going to learn something from you, because we all been through something, all been there, done that. But that opportunity allows you to share that experience, to expose me to something that I had never experienced, or give me the opportunity to look at things differently. Right? So I can then, like Sate said, I can start thinking differently. I can then get out of this prison, right? Unlock the door and walk directly into my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, another one, our mentor talks about dealing with our BS. Dealing with our BS, our belief systems. Man, there's so much in our belief systems that are holding us back, man. And so what I love about it, and I know I've said this before on the podcast, but I mean, we're a product of the product, man. We're a product of the product. We're everything that Sate Sherrod just lined out right there. Man, the only reason we've got as far as we have is because we've been on this journey of discovering our purpose, dealing with our belief systems, our thoughts, and really taking those now tools, those things.
Ooh, the now tools. The now tools. I like that.
to unlock a path forward, to unlock a future that we would have never have thought possible if we hadn't started the process. If we didn't take that first step, we could be sitting, you know what I'm saying, on the couch with a Twinkie hanging out of our mouth talking about, man, I wish I could own my own business, man. I wish I didn't have to get up on Monday and go report and clock in at such and such corporation. You know what I'm saying? Because we can sit wishing all day. You can sit wish. That's what I thought of earlier. Like, that's the difference. Wish I had this, wish I had that. But now, man, we're perfectly in pursuit of purpose, man. Not that we are perfect, but it's the pursuit that makes the difference. It's the pursuit that makes the difference. So I don't know, you guys seen those illustrations, like the path to where you are, the path to where you want to go. It's not a straight line. It's got ups and downs. But you know what? I think that one of the things that I've done, I've looked at that over the years, and I'm like, I've focused on the ups and the downs and the trenches and the hazards. But I don't even care about that no more. I don't even that's not, I mean, you could get that from that illustration, but it just shows how much my mindset, how much my thoughts have been transformed to where the ups and downs, they're no longer hazards. They're opportunities.
Yeah. What's the
only made me stronger, smarter, those things that I've been able to come out of and learn about myself, about situations, about circumstances, we, that make me the man that I am right now. When I got that call for All Pro Dads, it was actually a text message. Do you want to do this thing tomorrow morning at 6 in the morning? I was like, the old me would have been like, bro, that's too short notice, bro. I don't know, bro. You just put me on the spot.
Exactly.
I don't know if I want to do that, but you know what I said? What I've learned on my journey is that growth happens outside of my comfort zone. So I just sit back and yes. And I told my wife, this makes me uncomfortable, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm over here. I don't know what to do. If I could jump through the screen, I would. Like I'm ready to run.
You made me think of a song when you was talking about like the journey isn't a straight line. And what's the song? Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough to keep me from getting to you. I thought about that, right? That's what it's about, right? Perfectly in pursuit, because you're not giving up. You've come through this process. We talk about this process of learning from where you don't know to where you're realizing that guess what? It's an opportunity. It was a problem, but now it's an opportunity. And when you're perfectly in pursuit of that thing that's at the end of the line, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough to keep me from getting to what you.
Yes, sir.
That thing that you desire, and that's what we're talking about, right? That learning process, us getting that. That's why we're here. That's why us three men, from just different places out in the universe, at the end of the day, right? Just our journeys collided. We were all on our own individual journeys, and wasn't no mountain high enough, wasn't no valley low enough, right, to keep us from our journey. And then we came and connected on that, and that gets back to the importance of having other people that you can connect to on your journey. You might start off on your own. I don't care what you want to do in life. You may start off on your own, but you have to understand that you can't get there on your own. You can't. I don't care what it is. I don't care what type of thing it is. If you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, whatever it is, if you want to be the person that sells the most white t-shirts in the world, you cannot do it on your own. And that's another part of that learning process and thought process of realizing that guess what, I can't do it on my own. That don't mean you're incapable of doing things. That don't mean that you necessarily gotta have somebody, because sometimes we get in that well, I don't need nobody. Everybody needs somebody. I don't care who you is. That don't make you less because you need somebody. Right? It doesn't make you less. You need if you watch TV, you need the cable company. Right? If you live in the where it snows at, you need the company, DTE or whatever it is. You need them, right? That don't make you less because you need something, but it can make you greater realizing that you need something or someone. Ain't no mountains high enough, ain't no valleys low enough.
The vulnerability, right? Like, so it's being vulnerable. And vulnerability can be one of those things that again, that's why vocabulary is so important. It's not a negative thing, and it's not something that means that I'm soft or I'm unable. It means that with vulnerability means that, hey, I can look and say, okay, I see this opportunity, but because with this opportunity, I need help. So if I need help, then I need to be vulnerable enough to ask the right questions to let people know that I don't know what it is I don't know. Yeah. So let me start asking the right questions, right? So I can attract to me the right people to start helping me. And I love the illustration that Ian brought up again, right? Like that, and there's so many various different illustrations out there of just mountains and valleys and just trees and wood. Like you Matter of fact, I would just say anybody listening to this, as you're listening even to this portion of it, just envision your forest, your challenge, your trail, right? Because even when Ian said, I saw it's immediately when he said it, I saw my terrain and the challenges. I saw the weeds. I saw that. And even sometimes I don't even see a trail. So what do you do then when you don't have a path to follow? When you don't have a trail to go down? Right? What does that do to your optimism at that point? Right? Because it's hopeful, right? Hopeful for a future, right? You got to have the confidence now. I don't have nothing to follow, but now I got to figure out how to get through this terrain.
Yeah.
I see the mountain in the distance, but how do I get there? If that's my goal, if that's where my future lies, I then have to then change my thought process, right? I got to think differently, not to see the forest before the trees, right? I just need to see the mountain and then start walking towards that, understanding that there may be challenges, there will be challenges. But how do I now start overcoming it? Look, you got your now tools. You got your now tools. You have something.
Yeah.
So as you're walking through and going towards that, use that something now that's going to allow you to then continue to move forward. And then guess what? I guarantee you in the journey while you're going through, you're not in that field by yourself. If you look to your left, if you look to your right, if you look behind you, because here's what I can also tell you from a leadership perspective. Usually when you start charting a path, when you start charting a course, I guarantee you there might be or there will be someone coming behind you. It's leadership. Life, leadership, community. When we start asking, when we start talking, when we ask the questions, guess what happens? That's participation. I bring people into the conversation. Now I'm building community.
Yes, sir.
Brother in influence, we're about community. We want to be a part of your community just as much as we want you to be a part of ours. Because we're stronger together. We're better together. We can go further together. I can be so much more with these two brothers right here. I am so much more because of these two brothers right here.
What is it made by? Is it made by?
So just because we see this illustration of this whole field in my mountain, man, you got your now tools. Start moving. Get there. Believe in it. Trust in it. Have the confidence in your ability.
Yeah.
Have the confidence in your ability. Have that optimistic mindset. Get out of that prison and thinking that I can't, but you can. You will. You start thinking like that, your whole outlook will change. Your motivation will change. Your energy will change. Your drive will change. You will get to that mountaintop. Now, don't stop when you get to the mountaintop, though, player. Don't stop. Because I guarantee you're going to be able at another level that you're going to be able to see even further. So you're going to see other mountaintops, other peaks. But don't forget what you learned in the journey, in the process of getting to where you're at now. Right? You got to that mountaintop and you learned so much, and you might even brought other people with you. They help you get to that mountaintop, and now you see the rest of them. Now you got to go down. But hey, don't forget the tools, the now tools, and then the tools that you got in the process of getting there. Start applying them. Be optimistic, right? Start thinking differently. Understand that, again, you have a purpose, right? Join a community. Join our community. And if you're in our community, stay in our community. Help everyone else in the community. Brothers in influence. We're all about just the brotherhood and the influence that we can help each other get to that future, that optimistic view that we see.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I got so many thoughts, man. I'm gonna try to tie them together as we look to close up. But I mean, you said it, bro. It's like the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know, the things It's like the conversations we've had earlier in our journey as brothers and influence, success versus significance. You know, it's the difference in between you accomplishing something good as an individual and accomplishing something great, something significant, something legacy establishing as a community. Um, and as far as the community is concerned, you know what, like another adage says, a rising tide raises all boats. You know what I'm saying? So when you link up with us, well, this is what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? We want to help you get to where you are living out your purpose, you're feeling fulfilled, you have a sense of direction in your life, you know, and this is definitely your journey, and we're just here to support you. We're here to support you as part of it. Is part of our it's our heart, like we said, brothers and influence community, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value. Right, being connected with us doesn't mean like it's not a corporation type deal where we're going to absorb your ideas and all. Nah, bro, we want to lift you up, bro. We want to walk side by side, because the world needs the difference that you're meant to make. And so when it's your turn, guess what? We're gonna be in the crowd. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, let's go.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the essence of the
I'm gonna be
community.
out there like I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy.
Yum, yum, yum.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, man, whatever that opportunity is for you, whether it's figuring out how to start the business, whether it's figuring out how to get clear on the difference that you're meant to make. Um, and like I said, we know that there is a path towards that because we've lived through it, right?
And living through it.
Reason why we are growth coach of Greater Lexington, purpose coach, your thought coach, is because these are all extensions of what we have come to understand are our purpose. And these are outlets for us to express it. And it's just one of a few.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of a few. That's why we're in this community. That's also an extension of us expressing. And so I just want to give a shout out to some of the community members that tapped in. First of all, Keith Downey, this is actually my uncle. He said, you guys are doing great things, man. I love it. As I saw your message pop up, I appreciate you tapping in with us, Unc. But man, you know what this is all about is that we might be doing a little something, but we believe that everybody listening, everybody in the community, everybody that's meant to be, everybody that's on their way to joining us, connecting with us, can be doing great things. It's capable of doing great things. And we just want to lift you guys up, encourage you, build you up so that you can step out into that spotlight like you're meant to be, you know, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Being your true authentic self, doing your best work, right? Delivering from a place of an area of passion and not obligation, not just having to show up and you know, make a biweekly paycheck, but like, and here's the thing. If you're burdened by something and you want to make a difference about it, there's somebody in the world somewhere doing that thing and making money. Hence, there's an opportunity. There is an opportunity. It's not a problem, fam. It's not a problem trying to figure out how to make it work. There is an opportunity. And here's another thing. And even though someone else is maybe doing the thing that you feel like you're called to do and making money on it, they will never be able to do it like you. They will never be able to do it like you. So there's a space, there's a void that you're meant to fill. Come on, bro. It's brothers in community. You stand to encourage, inspire, and add value. We all doing great things, brother. We all can do it. And so this is why we want to link up and support and encourage. And I want to give a shout out to Brother Deshaun. We talked about vulnerability and how vulnerability breeds growth, bro.
Yeah, that's one of the brothers from the fatherhood group. So that's one of my brothers right there too. So
that's a statement right there. Vulnerability breeds growth.
He's one of our brothers. Welcome to the community, bro. We appreciate you tapping in with us, man. You know what I love about it is like when we come into the community. That's one of the. I think that's probably one of our unspoken pillars is vulnerability. It's one of those things that happens in the process of being in community with others, being connected with others, and sharing is vulnerability. And so I think we'd be remiss if we didn't point that out. The great thing about it is that a lot of the world is confused that they have to have trust before you get vulnerable, before you be vulnerable, but it's actually the opposite. Psychology tells us we have to be vulnerable first, and trust is built thereafter. And so while we invite you in the Brothers and Influence community, man, like Sherrod said earlier, engage with us, bro. Ask questions, tell us your story. We want to hear and know you. We want to hear from and get to know you, man, so that we can support you. That's what it's all about. And so we want to challenge you to take that step. And we know that it's not easy, man, especially for men. Coming from our community, vulnerability may not come natural. But just like I said earlier about my mindset and how I've approached opportunities that would have historically made me uncomfortable, I know that growth happens on the other side of it. So I gave my yes, and I'm gonna just encourage you to give your yes. All right, to join it, tapping into the community, connecting with us, man, because we're here for you, bro. We love you, man, and we just excited about what the future holds for all of us, for you as an individual, and just for Brothers and Influence overall. So, as we wrap up, fellas, final thoughts.
Man, I'm gonna go back to where I started off, man. Just being grateful, right? Just being grateful for you brothers, uh, and just being able to live life to its fullest as I'm continuing on this journey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay in that same vein of just being grateful. But I'm grateful for you, brothers. But I'm grateful even just for this community and what we're doing. But man, Deshaun, brother, vulnerability breeds growth. And I just wanted to let you know, man, that spoke volumes for me. And even to what you were just saying, Ian, about the pillar that we don't talk about in the vulnerability. I would even just submit amongst us, there took a level of vulnerability for us to come together and do what we're doing now, right? And the growth that came from that, man, I'm telling you, it's night and day for me.
Mm-hmm.
Night and day. People that know me now, if you would have knew me before you knew me now, you'd be like, wow, vulnerability.
That's Real Talk. This is Brothers and Influence Podcast, Season 2, Episode 6. It's March 12, 2022. We are a band of grateful brothers, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the process, bro. I'm grateful from when I come to one of those opportunities. It looks like an obstacle course. I don't focus on, how wet I'm gonna be or how filthy I'm gonna get or how scratched up or nicked up I'm gonna get. Who am I gonna be on the other side? Who am I gonna be on the other side? Makes it all worth it, man.
Yeah, most
Better
definitely.
father, better husband, right? A better friend, a better brother, a better son.
Yeah, a better you.
A better me. That's right. Better us. Let's go. Brothers and Influence community. We love y'all.
Peace.
Holla.